of the FI41. Something that concerns me immediately off the bat is the fact that it says it's pulling 3.3 amps while sat there doing nothing. That does concern me slightly, although it seems to be dropping down. But yes, a little bit concerning. The camera is also the right way up now. You just can't see because I put the lens cap on because A, don't need to see what's behind me, and B, easy to see the white text on a black background. But see, got no card in the top right. I do need to put the card in at some point. But I put the FI41 back in the aeroplane, and the way we enter the settings is
return to launch, auto, circle mode, return to launch, auto, circle mode, return to launch, auto.
Is it this switch?
Return to launch, auto, circle mode, return to launch, auto, circle mode, return to launch, auto, circle mode.
Or is it this one?
Position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold,
Aha.
manual.
Here we go. That was a mistake.
Position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual.
Doesn't help that there's a delay on this, so what I'm going to do is actually wear the goggles while I do this. So what you'll be seeing will be ever so slightly delayed to what I say, but never mind. So, let's have a look. I'm going to set that back to 50 for now. Install setting. Backwards, that's correct.
Auto, circle mode. Return to launch. Return to launch.
So now if I go up, I want that to be circle.
Auto, circle mode. Return to launch.
Right, so mix setting. I'm going to change that to V-tail. I'm going to go for a 60-meter circle radius. I'm going to up the max distance slightly. Sometimes I'll set up a mix to hold later on for me, but so short I'll hold it. Probably cut this a little bit out, but yep, we're headed for 5,000, so it's a nice easy number to remember. It's only works. Again, you can see why I'd normally put a thing on to do this, because I think originally it used to come with 1,000. I think they've updated it since to 4,000. I would never go 5 kilometers, of course, but just a good limit to set. I might do 5,250 so I can actually hit 5 kilometers and try turning round before, if I was to ever do this in a simulation. I'm going to do 5,100 because I can't be asked to do any more. 5,100. So now we'll do a initiate airspeed, and we'll initiate the gyro roughly level. Yeah, we're roughly level at that. Okay, and then we'll go down to save and exit. So
return to launch. Auto, circle mode. Return to launch. Auto, circle mode.
The reason why it's saying weird things at the bottom is because there's no GPS signal, because we're inside, or I hope that's why we've got no GPS signal. But now, full up is full up, down is down, left is left, right is right. Excellent. Good news. I am going to need to Actually, is that in one direction? Could I just... Oh, of course this will have trims in it. Oops.
Trim center.
I'm going to make sure there's no sub-trim. So now... That'll do. That's that. What I'm going to need to quickly do next, and test them. I don't actually know where the wing tube has gone. Where has all the good wing tube gone, and where am I? I'm going to need a wing tube. Possibly not going to need a wing tube. We can try and find that later. Okay. That works the right way. So now if I put it into
Auto stabilization on.
auto balance mode, if I put down, it puts more down in, that's not good. If I roll it left, or if I roll it right, it is putting in left aileron. If I flip to the left, oh, yeah, okay, so I need to reverse the gyro on the elevator and the rudder. So if I flip the switch about,
manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, auto, stabilization on, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, auto, stabilization on, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, auto, stabilization on, auto, circle mode, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, auto, stabilization on, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual, position, hold, manual.
right, so I need to I'm not bothered about gain. I need to go to reverses. So aileron was fine. Elevator need reversing. Okay, so now in
Auto. Stabilization on.
I point the nose down, up elevator, up, down elevator, I move it. So it goes left, it puts in. So move right, it's putting in left rudder, that's fine. To be fair, rudder isn't as critical because you can kind of test that in the air and knock it out quick if needed. So that's that. So the only thing that we need to do, which I'm going to do off camera, just so that people can't see my exact GPS coordinates, is take the fuselage outside, see if it can find GPS sats, and take it from there. But for now, that will be it. Right guys, unfortunately it seems like there is something very much faulty. So, I was plugging in this servo, which is, yes, it's a big hefty servo, it's a 7955, but I just use it as a tester servo, and I've used it with these type of setups before and it's not been a problem. And it just started jittering the tail feathers, and the speaker controller started bleeping like it had lost signal. And when I looked through the goggles, it just said low power, low power, low power, low power. And I thought, that's a bit strange. So I looked through the goggles, and it turns out that I was at the time pulling 29 amps. This is without a motor or a prop on, just sat here pulling 29 amps. I did say before, I believe in another clip, or at least I made out of it, that it was pulling like 3 amps not doing anything, which was concerning. So clearly something's grounding out, and when I put my hand on the power management unit back here, it was hot. And I don't think what the cables were like, because they're quite thin cables transferring 30 amps. Not great. So what I've started doing is unplugging things to see if they're causing draws. So I had this servo unplugged, I plugged it back in just to test it a minute ago. I have unplugged the run cam split and put in just this old 12 volt FPV camera. It's made out of metal and bloody heavy. I unplugged the receiver to see if it was a receiver possibly causing it, which of course would also remove the connection from the servo lead of the speaker controller and the pan servo anyway. I've tried unplugging the back, and I believe that was the same. I will double check that. So I try unplugging the back. I'm also going to try a different video transmitter, and unplugging just all the servos. I'm going to try those 3, and if those don't work, I think either it's something wrong in the FY itself, although I don't think that wasn't getting warm, but the power management unit was. Now luckily I do have another power management unit nearby. I've got a brand new FI41 in box, so what I might do is solder up that, which will basically make a new loom with a new back as well, because I think I've got a spare one of these kicking about as well, and just see if that works. If that works and runs as it should do, then we have, unfortunately, a faulty power management unit, and I bought these so long ago and they were from Banggood, so the chance of me getting any sort of return or comeback on those is basically non-existent. Have a stare at some whiteness for a moment. I guess it's a real show of why you shouldn't buy stuff too far in advance. It's a real shame. An annoyance, because it all kind of went together a bit too well, other than the canopy issues and camera issues. They've gone together fairly well. I couldn't believe the FI41 section just worked. I know it's not a receiver bind issue, because I've had that issue in the past, where it's kind of bound but not bound, because the RSI signal is good, and also the throttle works even if the servos don't. And the fact that I can now see it's pulling so many amps, it's clearly something to do with that power management unit. So that also makes it not the separate back, because the separate back is there before. But anyway, as I said, I replaced the back anyway, and it's not getting hot. Backs, you know, the main part of the back that does the voltage stuff, you can always feel that getting hot if it's being hammered, and it isn't doing. So I'm going to try taking all the servos out to make sure it's not a servo that's draining. I'm going to unplug the back and see if it's the back that's causing it. I don't think it is. and I'm also going to try a different video transmitter, and I'll just come back to you with a quick update. But as I'm sure you can imagine, I am annoyed and disappointed. I am beyond aggravated. So, trying everything suggested, so no back in, no servos in, tried another video transmitter, still the same, and also the picture was terrible. It was terrible on the other transmitter as well, so I know it's not the transmitter that was at fault. But like kind of black scrolling picture, to be honest with you, normally something to do with low power, to be completely honest with you. So I thought, well, instead of soldering up a new power supply, so this is the new FI41, instead of soldering up the new power supply, what I would do is quickly swap everything over to the new FI41 and try that to see if it's the same. And plugged it in, and it was set at 0.2 amps, and I thought, you know what, that's fine. I've edited about 0.2 amps before. That is not a problem. So, what we would need to... So, got this out, plugged it in, and it was kind of fine, as I say. I then plugged it in, and I know it's a heavy-duty servo, but I've used it before. It's not had problems. It's not got any force on it. It's a known good servo. That's 7955, wherever it is. It's possibly in the fuselage still. I started smelling something, and I felt the power management unit, that didn't feel hot. Lightly warm, okay, but not like boiling like it was before. Then I felt the new FI41, and it was hot, and at the time it smelled. It no longer smells, which is possibly good news, because normally when something goes and bangs permanently, it smells even when it's off. Because this one doesn't smell. I didn't feel any heat on this one that was in the plane. Because if that power management unit has managed to knack up 2 of these, I'm going to be very, very pissed. Because if the power management unit is dead, it effectively writes off one of these, because I'm not sure if I can get a separate power management unit from somewhere else. I'll just have to go in the spares bin. But if it can knack up 2 of them, I'd be even more pissed. And at least with this one, there's a chance that I can get a new power management unit for it. So, I think we're all agreed that it is the power management unit that is faulty. I should have known when the label was off of it in the box. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder up the power management unit. That one there. The label will come off of that one as well. I hope it's not a faulty batch, because these were bought at exactly the same time. Fuck. Fuck's sake. Hopefully, I'll get one of these bastards to work. Hopefully it's just the one and was not a faulty batch that I can't do anything about now. Yes, as you can possibly tell, I'm annoyed and frustrated and slightly knackered. What time is it? 1 something. I can't see the rest of it, but it's 1 something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pack everything up, sort of stick everything in a box, and decide what I'm going to do next. It may be another plane that goes on the shop for a while in annoyance, until I can decide what the fuck to do with it. But for now, thank you all for watching. We'll figure something out at some point, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.